Hello and welcome back to Giboo's Quickies, where the rule is I only have 1 hour of playtime to write a review. This series isn't really about the overall quality of the game, it's about how well it grips you after the first hour, and as we all know, if it doesn't grip you in the first hour, there's little to no chance it will after that. Let's work through our backlog together and we'll find some gems. Today we have Command & Conquer 4 Tiberium Twilight, developed by EA Los Angeles and published by EA Games. This being the fourth installment to the original Command & Conquer series, with GDI and Nod being the two main factions at odds with each other. GDI being the militaristic, modern capitalist society, and Nod being the cult-like communist, with a somewhat overplayed red and black means I could be the bad guy shtick. The game currently sells as part of a Command & Conquer bundle that retails for $19.88. At the time of this recording, this part of the bundle has an overwhelmingly negative review score on Steam. While this normally would be alarming for me, I decided to give it a go ahead and play anyway. I absolutely adore this series before Westwood Studios, the originators of Command & Conquer, was purchased by Electronic Arts. Upon first boot, I'm asked to log into my EA account in order to even play the game. I know DRM can be a bit irritating when it's this invasive, but I still continued on. This is about gameplay, not about issues with rights management. Once the game loaded, I was asked again to log into my EA account, which I kinda found odd and no little bit irritating. But again, it's about gameplay, not how irritating the DRM is. Once I was actually allowed to start the game, I went in and changed the resolution from 800 by 600 native to a much more manageable resolution of 2560 by 1440. The game didn't have an issue changing to the resolution, everything still looked nice, and I started the game fully. To be greeted by some really crisp live action video giving a summary of the events of the Command & Conquer 3 Kane's Wrath, where the Colonel was injured and had some cybernetic enhancements done in order to function normally. You're greeted by your wife and soon thrust into a sortie to defend a mystery person, who ends up being the primary antagonist of the previous games, Kane. Do you like what I'm doing? Please, leave a comment, drop a like, don't forget to hit subscribe, hit the bell too while you're at it, and it'll let you know whenever I release a new video. With that said, let's get on with some ratings. Gameplay, 3 out of 5 gems. The gameplay is pretty typical of a real-time strategy. You navigate your units around the map until you find a good loadout zone. The play is pretty average. There isn't a whole lot of innovation this gameplay-wise. While I didn't run into any bugs, the game could use a bit of optimization when it comes to controls. It's not terrible, but it's not really good either. Soundtrack, 3 out of 5 gems. The soundtrack, again, is what you would pretty much come to expect from a Command & Conquer game. It's a bit of metal with some industrial theme, pretty nice music for anyone into rock in the late 90s. The explosions, the units, Eva as well, everything sounds pretty and crisp, but really no innovation at all, but not too bad either. Difficulty, 2 out of 5 gems. Command & Conquer 4 is not a difficult game. The patterns that the computer uses, it just feels generic. I'm giving it an extra point because I am a veteran of the series, so it could be some bias leaking out, knowing the rest of the series so well. Full disclosure, I have played all of the Command & Conquer series except this one. And out of all of them, this one is the least challenging, the most cinematic, and the most plot-driven out of all of them. You're less playing a game and more doing a choose-your-own-adventure. Graphics, 3.5 out of 5 gems. As for most Command & Conquer games, this game does accept higher resolutions without needing to mod the title. Everything looks good, it's nice and clean, the animations are good, and all of the live action scenes are in high definition. Honestly, no complaints, it works well, it fits the theme of the series, and it's following in the footsteps that Westwood laid down so many years ago. Immersion, 1.5 out of 5 gems. One of the major flaws of live action cutscenes, especially when you make choose your own adventure type of cutscene, it instantly breaks your immersion. If the only choice that matters is the one during a cutscene, why are you really playing the real-time strategy portion? It's jarring. Now, This is true of all the other games of the series. However, those will also give you choices that matter inside the missions, which I did not experience during this hour of play. I was just not impressed. I couldn't really get into it. The gameplay was fun, but it felt too far apart from the live-action cutscenes, where the other titles in the series you feel are more integrated. You need a fuzzier boundary in order to get that feel, and EA just doesn't have it. They should realistically just stick to the sports games. Overall ranking: 2.8 out of 5 gems. The game did have some good moments, but overall, I felt like I was playing a game. I wasn't experiencing the world. There's little to no depth. The game just feels like it's trying to shoehorn another installment into the series for some extra cash instead of being compelling. There's too many twists, way too fast. It just feels cobbled together out of scraps, instead of a game that the developers actually wanted to make. I really don't have anything else to say about it. We all know I adore when a game is made with love by somebody who actually wants to play that game. But this, dear viewer, is a game that is just a grab at the series from a company who bought a studio that made games they loved. Then they gutted it and tried to capitalize off its popularity without really delving into plot of the other games, other than a cursory glance. Final thoughts. So, is Command & Conquer 4 Tiberium Twilight worth paying $19.88 just to get the bundle? You know, I'd probably wait till it's on sale. But the other installments in the bundle do make it more worth it. I will say installing this game is the only major regret I've had about buying it. It sours the rest of the series knowing this is where it goes. I think I'm going to instead pretend this part of the series just ended at the end of Kane's Wrath. I honestly cannot recommend buying the bundle just for this game. If you own the others in the series, just walk away. I hope that you like what I'm doing. Don't forget to drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'm aiming at a few of these videos a week, and I'd like to release 2, one on Wednesday and one on Saturday. So if you hit that bell, you'll know when they go live. I hope that you're having a wonderful day or evening, because you know what I always try to say. It's always a great day to have a great day.